You're listening to Storage Nerds Podcast, where we unravel the best-kept secret of the real estate investing world, the storage industry. Join the grassroots guru in self-storage, Stacy Rossetti, in insightful discussions about finding, funding, and running these spaces, allowing you to yield the highest returns possible. Get your foot in the door on self-storage and discover how to properly purchase facilities, negotiate with sellers, and close the deal without worries. Start unpacking that investment wisdom with Stacy right now.
My name is Stacy Rossetti, and I have been investing in self-storage for about 5 years now. I also teach people how to invest in self-storage. This session happens every Monday night. All right, so hop on and hang out anytime. And, let me know who you are and what you're looking for. If you have any suggestions on things that you want to learn about, let me know so that I can talk about it, because most likely we do all this in our business. We have 11 storage facilities. We also have 2 under contract and looking to buy more facilities right now. And I'm looking forward to the next couple of years. I think the storage industry is going to be a lot of fun. And I feel very, very blessed to be in this industry right now. And I hope you guys really educate yourself and get into it, because it's a good industry to be in. And I'm really excited about the next couple of years. You guys give me your thoughts on what you think is going to happen over the next couple of years in the storage industry. I did a session a couple of weeks back. I can't remember what session it was. And you can always go onto my YouTube channel. You can just search Stacy Rossetti Teaches. And then you can find all my previous sessions. And then also, you can also listen to the podcast, which is called Storage Nerds. Okay. And anyways, I did a session a couple of weeks ago about the market, what's going to happen to storage in the next couple of years. And actually, you know what? I'm in a couple of groups right now, storage groups and some private groups. And a lot of owners are saying that the market is cooling and that their vacancies are actually going up. All right, so just keep that in mind over the course of the next, couple months when you're purchasing. All right, I really feel like the market is going to cool, and I feel like that the cap rates are going to start increasing. Okay, by the end of the year. Just my personal opinion, but I feel like this is what's going to happen. And so when you get out and start looking for a storage facility, you have to keep in mind what's going to happen over the course of the next year. If you get into a tertiary market and you run numbers at a 6 cap, you might be hurting down the road, because typically a tertiary market is an 8 cap. All right. And pre-COVID, at least, it was an 8 cap. And actually, even more than that, I was buying stuff at 9 and 10 cap pre-COVID. And so I really feel like the market is going to kind of cool a little bit, and the cap rates are also going to cool. So you have to keep that in mind when you get out there and start looking for storage facilities. And when I say tertiary market, for everybody that doesn't know, it just means country. All right, because I typically buy storage facilities that are $1 million or less in either secondary or tertiary markets. So I am not a huge, big, storage facility buyer with, 300, 400, 500 units. I mean, typically my units are anywhere from 75 to 150 units. All right, and I'll go up to 200 units. We're looking at facilities right now that have about 200, 220 units, something like this. Okay. But just as long as it's in that threshold of around $1 million, something like this. Okay. So anyways, so just keep that in mind. I'm actually telling this to my virtual assistants right now. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is virtual assistants and hiring virtual assistants. Go ahead, and everybody that's hopping on now, do me a favor, please, and introduce yourself in the chat so I can I can get to know you. I have a lot of students that are on, obviously here. So hi to all the students, but if you're not a student, say hi to me. And so I see, let's see, house, no, what is MHP? Tell me what it is, because I don't know what it is. I'm like a storage nerd. That's it. So he's saying that those have those have been held up. Mobile home parks. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Duh. Okay, so mobile home parks, he's saying mobile home parks and self-storage facilities really hold the best rates, which is actually true. It's so funny because we talked about this last week. You guys, for all of you that don't know, I live in an RV and I travel full time. And we are staying in RV parks. Now it's the summer, obviously, it's like June. And so we're staying here, we're at the Grand Tetons right now. And the RV park that we're staying in is actually quite large. And it's brand new. It's a beautiful brand new RV park. And they're actually full. I mean, they're actually full. So I feel like maybe over the summer they might start filling up. But we have been to many, many parks from I would say from January until now, where RV parks are not as full. Like they're just not filling up, So just have to keep that in mind if you're looking for an RV park. Because a lot of people are really turning to like RV parks, storage facilities, and mobile home parks right now, trying to figure out like which industry they should be in, because residential obviously is like not a place to be in. And then also multifamily just has way too much competition. So a lot of people are looking to like storage, mobile home parks, and RV parks. And but the truth is that storage facilities are also cooling. And so just keep that in mind, because in all these Facebook groups I'm in, everybody is telling me that vacancies are up. Vacancies are up. And so if you do own a storage facility, let me know if vacancies are up. And I've talked to a couple of students inside the Storage Nerds Mastermind, and they're that own storage facilities, and they're also saying that the last couple of months have been slower, and then this month is even slower than before. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're looking for facilities to buy, that the market is cooling. And so you don't want to be running your numbers at such a low cap rate when it could possibly increase over the next couple of months to a year, and then you're just losing money, right? So make sure that you're buying at the right cap rate. That's my tip for today on buying storage facilities. The market is cooling, so buy at the right cap rate. What is the right cap rate? I don't know. It's whatever you think the right cap rate is. It's whatever you think that you're going to be able to sell the facility at later too, as well. So I would say tertiary markets are, anywhere from 7 to 8 right now. I would say 7 to 8. This is what I'm telling all my virtual assistants. And, secondary markets are 6 to 7, right? But I feel like, but this time next year, we're going to have a totally different number. So it'll go back to the way it was pre-COVID. We used to buy stuff at like 8, 9, 10 caps in income producing properties at like really good cap rates, and then for a while, for like 2 years, that was gone, right? We're all lowering our cap rates, and now things are getting back up there again. So anyways, all right. So, and now today, what I wanted to talk to everybody about was virtual assistants. And how to hire virtual assistants and when to hire a virtual assistant. All right. So for all of you that follow me, I appreciate you following me. I teach, find them, fund them, run them. Right. That's kind of like the way that I teach. So today, what I wanted to do is just kind of go over virtual assistants in the find them section, in the fund them section, and in the run them section. And I don't have my iPad today. I forgot it. So you're all going to just hear me talking, and then every once in a while I'll get online and I'll kind of show you a couple different things places and stuff that you can look and things that you could do. But essentially it's just me talking today. All right. So let's talk about virtual assistants. All right. And when you should hire a virtual assistant. So I have, I've never actually really told anybody this, but my husband and I, we have about 30 people that work for us. We have a huge, big team of people that work for us. Okay. And the reason why we have so many people is because we have a lot of different companies. We have 13 different companies. All right. So we recently started a new company, which is called the Storage Nerds Acquisitions. And basically, it's a way for my students to be able to hire my acquisitions team to find them facilities. And I'm going to tell y'all, they are rocking and rolling, right? So we have a team of 15 virtual assistants I said not 15, I say 12. 12, the goal is 15, we have 12 right now, okay? And those virtual assistants are all from the Philippines. And a lot of people ask, what is a virtual assistant? A virtual assistant is somebody that can like just do tasks for you, or actually do like full on jobs for you. So I decided this year in January to hire a team of virtual assistants to help my students find deals. And the reason why is because I really want Storage Nerds to be a great coaching program for everybody. But the only way it really is a great coaching program is if my students are buying storage facilities, right? And so how can I get them to buy storage facilities? Well, I can help them find storage facilities to buy. Ultimately, in my head, that's what it's looking like. Okay. So we started this at the beginning of the year, really starting to talk about it and think about how we're going to do it. I'm working together with Chris, who's my acquisitions manager, and he's been with me for several years. And so we just kind of were talking about this concept. And so I decided to hire some virtual assistants that could help me, do some tasks, like just simple tasks. This was not about acquisitions at all. What I did is I went on to Upwork, okay? And if you guys don't know Upwork, let me just share this with you just in case so you guys know where it's at. Upwork is just upwork.com, all right? And Upwork is a website where you can just hire freelancers, okay? And so you can come in and it's completely free. You just come in and just post a job. And then you just create a job, right? Essentially, you just create your job, and it's like, is it short term or long term? I'm not going to go through all this, but essentially, I'll show you like, okay, this is going to be like longer term work. It's a virtual assistant. It could be short or long term, and you could say like, so we hired acquisitions specialists. I don't know how to spell specialists. Okay. So then you go through and you kind of just fill all this out, and they take you through like a step-by-step process to create a job post. And I'm going to ask everybody here that's listening, have you guys ever created a job post on Upwork? And like, what kind of a job was it for? I would love to know. And like, was the person successful or not successful? Which country were they from? Were they from America? Were they from outside America? And you can hire like every single type of person from across the board. And you could actually, if you don't want to hire anybody outside the country, you could just be like, click this button. I only want it to be inside America. And if you have somebody, if you want to do worldwide, you can do worldwide. So I always do worldwide because I want to know, who's looking at my stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting to see like people from all over the world trying to find work and stuff. But anyway, so I went on to what I did personally is I went on to Upwork, okay? And I put in that I needed some tasks done. And one of the tasks that I needed to be done and that I wanted to be done was like a competition tracker sheet. Let me see if I could show that to y'all so y'all could see what it looks like. And this is available to all of my students in Coach Accountable, but I'm going to pull it up for you too so you guys can see it. Competition. And so this is what it looks like. And what it is that so we own 11 storage facilities, and what we do internally is we really keep an eye on our competition. What are they charging? And charging right now. Okay, so real competition tracker sheet, that's what I called it. And it was just basically like all of our facilities, and we have 11 tabs. We have, and I gave, these are the 2 that we have now, but essentially, like Ball Ground and Fayetteville are 2 of our facilities. And then I said, I really just want I actually interviewed a good handful of people, but I said, I really want just a spreadsheet that can show me the competition and what they have, what they offer, and then how much they're charging. And we came up with this spreadsheet, right? Which was like this. And actually the truth is the spreadsheet when she first started out was probably just 3 or 4 columns. And then as she started going through and looking stuff up, I was like, oh, you should add this, you should add this, and then she started going back and adding everything and stuff too. So essentially this was her very first task. Her name is Karen, and I hired her from Upwork. Okay. And this was the task was, I want you to create this master competition tracker sheet. And she ended up creating this beautiful spreadsheet that had everything that you could possibly imagine about the competition. It was just when I sat with her a week later and we had our meeting, I was like, okay, what'd you come up with? And she showed me her sheet and we went through it. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And then it just really started to get me thinking, maybe I should be hiring more virtual assistants to do more stuff, right? Maybe they could do more. And so that's kind of where the conversation started. And so I asked her to do the next task, which was, let me see if I can find that, which was all of the facilities in Texas. Let me see, storage facilities in Texas. Yeah. Okay. So then I was like, why don't I hire her to just start making a list of facilities? And this is when I had happened to be in Austin and I was spending time there. And, wherever I go, I always drive for storage because that's how I find storage facilities. And so she went around. So basically I went around and I found a whole bunch of storage facilities. I was like, hey, can you please put these on a list and make a list for me? And I apologize if my connection is poor. I'm in the Grand Tetons in the middle of the mountains, and sometimes my connection is really good and sometimes just it sucks. So I apologize. So she made this spreadsheet for me, which was a totally amazing spreadsheet. Let me show you what this looks like. It looks like this. And so she put this spreadsheet together, which was the storage facility, address, city, population, all this. We do a number of stars, number of reviews is what we do. And let's see what else. And then some notes and stuff, right? So this is the sheet that she put together, her storage facility sheet in Texas. And when I met with her the next time to look at her sheet, I was like, man, this is such a really good sheet, man. It's so good. Because you see my sheet is horrible when I make my sheets and stuff. And she really just took the time to put this awesome, amazing sheet together. And so I was like, you know what? I need to give her some more tasks, right? And so then I was like, maybe she should just start calling all of these people on the list. Maybe she can be the one that calls instead of Chris or instead of me or whatever. And so we talked to her and we asked her, we said, would you be interested? And would you be interested in calling owners? And she was like, yeah, I could totally do that. She was all up for it. And she's from the Philippines. And, so the Philippines are very kind of reserved, very nice, very friendly. They're not, disrespectful at all. And so she was very nice and cordial. And so Chris worked with her, our acquisitions manager worked with her to get on the phones and start talking on the phones. And so she started calling all these people on the list. And then she started to get leads from them. Right. And essentially the whole process was I was only going to hire her to do a couple of tasks. I was like, I'm going to just find some tasks. And then from there, I was like, one of the tasks was let's just make some spreadsheets, all the stuff that I don't want to do. Let's do that. And from there, she was just so good at making all these spreadsheets and stuff. I was like, this is really good. I want to I definitely want to like hire her. I was thinking about I was like, maybe I should hire her full time so that she could really start working for us. And so then she started doing the cold calling, and she started doing just half a day cold calling. And then the other half of the day, she was building the list. That's her job, really. That was her job, is like the first half of the morning calling, and the second half of the morning building the list. Okay. And so from there, she started getting all these leads. And I only pay her $7 an hour. That's it, $7 an hour. And she started out the first week, I think I paid her like $100. And now she works full time, and I pay her like less than $300 a week. And she creates the list. She she builds the list, right? How does she build the list? Do you want to know how she goes onto Google Maps, and she looks on Google Maps to build lists? Okay. And then after, is she single? That's funny. And she's married and she's got kids, but she started building the list, and then she started calling, and now she has 3 deals that she's working on for for 2 of my students. So, and this is all just in like a couple of months' time, right? So it took a good, first we were just doing like small tasks for a couple of weeks. And then she started building the list, and then we started training her on the calling. And she's only been working with me now, maybe for like 3 months at the most. But she's already working on 3 deals and like putting offers in on deals. So I can get into that, like the process for that in just a minute. But essentially my whole point is that all I did was go on to Upwork and made a post of some tasks that I know I don't want to do, but I need them to be done. And I paid a couple of dollars for those to be done. And then I tested out other projects on this person. And then I decided that this person was somebody that I wanted to hire. Right. And now she's part of the team, and she's rocking and rolling. And she is actually the reason why, honestly, she's the reason why Storage Nerds acquisition started. Because it was like, oh, wow, like I could really train this person to come in and do the sales and like call. And so we call the people that we work for us, we call them acquisition specialists. And their job is to make 1 offer a week. Their job is to make 1 offer a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the truth is that making an offer is actually quite a lot of work. Because if you think about this, right, if you think about it, you have to build the list or get a list from somewhere. You have to build the list, and then you have to call. And then after you call, let's say that you call, and actually the way that their week looks, just so you have an idea of how it works, is on their job is to make 1 offer a week. Okay, so that means on Mondays and Tuesdays, they are hustling and bustling and calling and trying to get a hot lead that somebody wants to have an offer on. And when they call, and what Chris's job is, Chris is my acquisitions manager, which is really now my like lead trainer. What his job is to really help them on the phone, because essentially they're just like, people from a different country trying to call people in America, and if you know how that is, that's hard in itself, right? And try to talk to them. And then on top of that, try to talk to an owner and try to get them to want to get an offer, that's like a lot of work. That's a lot of training, right? So Chris's job is to really work with this person to be able to talk to people on the phone and strangers on the phone and get them to want to give data. Because when I call, people want to talk to me. When Chris calls, people want to talk to me. But when like some stranger calls, it has like an accent. A lot of people don't want to talk to you, right? So anyway, so that's what he's doing. And so their job is really like Mondays and Tuesdays, they're calling, and their job is to find somebody that wants an offer. All right. And then once they find somebody that wants an offer, they have to get all the information from them in order for us to be able to make an offer. Okay. So that's like, getting getting the purchase price, if we can get the purchase price. But most of the time they don't want to give the purchase price. Some people want to give the purchase price. They're like, I want this much, and but most of the time they don't. But you have to get like the the income, the units, like the number of units, the square footage, the total square footage, the property taxes, the utilities, the taxes, the insurance, and then the unit mix. All right. And so then we've really taken this to a whole nother level. So essentially Mondays and Tuesdays are calling and they're getting that lead. Wednesday, they're like working that owner. It's like, I need this and I need this and I need this information. And Wednesday, they're like putting everything into the deal analyzer. Okay, so all of my students have access to the deal analyzer, but they're putting everything into the deal analyzer, all the information. They're filling out our deal analyzer with the unit mix and all the information on the input sheet. And also they're filling out all the information on the competition, right? And the competition is actually kind of the hardest part, right? Because you have to look for competition, and then you have to get all their prices and get all their information. And the truth is in deal analysis, the competition analysis, the competitive analysis is like one of the most important parts of the piece, most important parts of the equation. And so that takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort to get in there and to look for all this and to input all this onto the deal analyzer. And then at the same time, well, let's do this one. So, and then what they do is they create a folder. It's right here, and it's just really kind of looks like this. And you could see there's like, pictures of the property information. So they're finding pictures on like Landglide. They're finding pictures on Regrid. They use Regrid because it's free, or Landglide. They use Google Maps and put pictures of like whatever they can find. I like to have like aerial views, and then I like to have like, in front of views of the facility. They're putting the property information, like the property property report card, was like comes right from the county. And then also another thing that they do is they do the executive summary. All right, this is what they do. And this is actually what I've been doing this for like 10 years. And essentially the executive summary is really just a synopsis of the deal, so that I can look at the deal in an instant and decide whether or not this is a good deal or not. And they can also look at the deal and they can also look, like Chris can look at it, or a lender can look at it, or whoever, right? And so that's kind of what they put together. Like they got stuff here off of Regrid, and this is the property report card. Here's like a map of the location and some information about the county, and the deal analyzer is here. All right, so they put and then here's pictures to the videos and stuff. But they put all that together for me, because now we have 15 virtual assistants that are putting deals together, putting offers for us. And so like we need to be able to go through these like, quick, right? So we do executive summaries on all of our deals. So I can just quickly take a look at it. And in the beginning, when I hired all these virtual assistants, and the way it worked really was I hired Karen, and then Karen suggested a friend of hers to come work. And then also another virtual assistant that I've had work for me for like 5 years, his name's Ivan. He asked if his brother could come work. And so from there, and then they all started just like, telling me, oh, we'll hire this person, right? So out of everybody that we've hired, all 12 of the people that we have now, and I have a couple of interviews this week, All of the 15 people that have been hired, Karen is the only one that I found on Upwork. All right, she's the one that kind of started the train. And now everybody on the team is really like family, because they all have worked together with other people. And then what we do is we actually communicate through Skype. All right, that's how we communicate. So let me share this with you and just show you kind of what we do so y'all have an idea. So we just communicate through Skype. And so you can see here, this is acquisitions team. And this is all them saying good morning in the morning. And in the evening time, every single person has to post out an end of shift report, right? And they tell everybody on the team what each person does. Like they say what they've done for the day, right? So like, this is Karen. She checked her emails and just called. She communicated with L&M Storage to confirm other info, updated the deal analyzer, communicated with an agent of Mesa Storage, downloaded documents and pictures, started to create the deal analyzer for the new lead, communicate with Chris and ask for help about other concerns, brainstorm with other VAs sharing ideas. So, and they all every day post out their end of shift reports so that we all know. See, they come in good morning and then the evening. So nobody's left yet. They're all working still now. So you don't see any end of shifts. But this is also a way for us to all talk to each other. If you have any questions or anything like this, then it's all here, right? So I just hired Sharice. She started today. So everybody's welcoming her. But the reason we started doing that is we started putting everybody into Skype because first of all, we needed to communicate with each other. But honestly, I really want everybody, because everybody's all over the place. So when you have a virtual team and you're really growing a virtual team, you want everybody to feel connected with you, right? And with everybody else. And some people may know each other and we talk and we goof off and we share what we're doing. I share what I'm doing, right? So they all know what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I also put my report in, and Chris also puts his report in as well too, right? So they can know what kind of stuff that we're working on, so they can feel kind of more connected to us as well too. Because if you just kind of have their job and then you have your job, it's just I don't know, you just need more of a connection when it's virtual. Okay. So yeah. So that's kind of what they do on the acquisitions team. And and then the process is that they do Mondays and Tuesdays is calling, building the list and calling. Now I've asked all my acquisitions managers, I've asked them, how many people are you calling in a day? And they're calling around 25 owners a day. Right. So remember I said they can't call anybody until they have a list of 300 names. So that's the rule. So it takes a good couple of weeks for them to build 300 names up. Okay. And then they start calling, and really it takes them to start getting acclimated and figure things out and stuff like this. So determines making any offers, but after 1 month, you should be able to make one offer a week, right? And so Mondays and Tuesdays they're calling. Wednesdays they're working with the owner to try to get information from them so they can run the deal analysis. And Thursdays and Fridays they're meeting with me or Chris to go over the deal and to do the offer. They also do the offer. They put the offer in. Okay, so we have what's called the magic letters, and the letter many times, but essentially it's just a cash offer and then 3 owner finance offers. And the acquisition specialists make the offer. They learn how to fill out and run the numbers for all of the owner financing. And the first couple times or whatever, of course we help. But I'm telling you, they pick this up super quick. They pick all this up. And then they are the ones that finish the offer. And then once they finish the offer, they'll send it for an approval from us, but they'll send it over to the owner. Once they send it to the owner, then the owner They have to make sure that the owner has received the offer, because essentially a lot of times, like, you email it and then the owner never sees it. So they always email it and they call and they let the owner know. If the owner doesn't pick up, then they leave a voicemail. If the owner does pick up, then they talk to them and just let them know. And they also, if the owner doesn't pick up, they also text message. And that's one thing I talk about, but we use Just Call for all of our virtual assistants in order for them to call out. It's called Just Call. And it's just a phone operating system. I can show it to y'all real fast. Y'all can see what it looks like. JustCall.io. Right. And so this is where you can come in and then you can just set up like a way for everybody, for your virtual assistants to be able to make phone calls. Okay. Super duper easy peasy. It's really not even that expensive, I think. I don't know how much it costs, honestly, because I don't really pay attention, but it's really not that expensive. Did I share my screen with y'all? No, I didn't share. Hang on. This is what it looks like. So just so you all know, Just Call. And the reason why I like Just Call, because I've used a lot of different phone, like online phone systems. The reason why I like Just Call is because it records the call. It records the call. And so that way Chris can go back and listen to the calls to make sure that, they're saying what they should be saying, and to help them and to improve them while they're on their calls and stuff, so really that's Chris's job. Now, obviously we have 15 virtual assistants, so that's like a job in itself. But essentially your job would be to be able to listen to the phone calls that, the people are doing, so that your virtual assistants are doing, so that you can help them get better. Because really the hardest part about phone sales is that it's a phone sale, right? So you want them to be really good. They can get it on their online. They can find all the data. They can input, the deal analyzer. They can do the magic letter offer, but it's just getting the owner to want an offer. That's really kind of like the hardest part of everything. So we really work with them to get better at that. And that's really kind of the key, I think, really the key to your success if you do want to hire a virtual assistant to help you find facilities, right? Now, remember, we have our virtual assistants, we pay them $7 an hour, which is actually a very nice pay in the Philippines. That's actually a good rate, because a lot of people will pay less, but I personally believe in the living wage. So I do pay a little bit more, and they're all very grateful for that. So they think $7 an hour is very good. And really it comes out to you could say, look, you can work 30 hours a week, right? And it could be, $300, three times seven, $210 a week, so $200 a week, or you can have them work 40 hours a week, which is $280. Okay. And I really feel like that, that's like a very reasonable fee for somebody to be doing all the work that they're doing. And then now if they do close on a deal, right? If we happen to find, so we do have like a couple of deals under contract right now that our virtual assistants have found. And they do, for anyone that we close on, they do get a bonus, and it's going to be $1,000. That's what our bonus is going to be. So that's actually a very nice bonus for them as well too, so that they can make some money, and we all make money together, right? So you want to make sure that you treat your employees, like family, and then they'll stick around forever. Okay, good. So that is acquisitions virtual assistants, and I've been using virtual assistants for 10 years. Let me see, we got a whole bunch of questions here, and I'll do like the fund them and the run them part here in just a minute as well too. Did you do this so that you could purchase these target these facilities to purchase? Yeah. So we have virtual assistants internally that all they do is find facilities for me. I've got several, honestly, but then also we have virtual assistants that are working for our students as well too, and they're finding facilities for them as well. So we do it for anybody in storage nerds is what we do it for that wants to hire our team. Where is she located? She's located in the Philippines. Everybody that's virtual assistants for the calls is all Filipino. And then I also have a handful of employees that are from Pakistan as well too. And I love working with Pakistanis because they're like super hard workers. Oh my gosh. Love working with them as well too. They're a little bit more expensive, but not too bad. So highly recommend checking them out as well too. And you also have to remember too, when you're hiring a virtual assistant, you have to think of their time zone. This is something that like Chris struggled with as well when he first started. I was like, they're like 12 hours ahead of you. Like it's, it's like night and day. Even in Pakistan, it's totally opposite time zones and stuff. So you have to keep that in mind. And like, if they're coming into work, late at night and working through the night, I'm saying, having a meeting in the morning time, which is really like a meeting for them. I mean, a night for them. It's like, it's so opposite, but it's like, they've been working the whole time. Like you don't want to have like an early meeting with them because they just aren't thinking very well. At least that's what I've noticed. Okay, and then yes, they do have cold calling scripts. We've written out several scripts for them. It's so funny when I do interviews with them, you can tell like this country is like when they get hired for like positions or when they get interviewed for positions, it's all like they have like scripts. Like everything is so script. It's like scripts over there, right? And so, they'll come on to an interview and it's like whatever they say, the first things that they say is like you tell they memorized it. It's like, hi, my name is Christian and I would love to come work for you. I've done this and this kind of a thing, right? And then I ask them some random thing, like what do you do for fun or whatever? And they're like looking at me like, what? Like, you could tell that they're trying to like figure out what to say. So make sure on the interviews that you ask them like random stuff, like, and actually ask them questions that get them thinking, right? So, questions about like, do you know what a storage facility is? Have you read anything about storage? Tell me anything that you know about storage facilities. Tell me what you know about the real estate market in the United States. Questions that they're not going to really like think that you're going to ask, right? Because they're so scripted. So you want to get them, I really want to, first of all, I want to hear their English and make sure that they can speak English properly. And then secondly, I really want them to be able to use their head, because the truth is like, you can't call a storage facility owner and have a script. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it doesn't work that way. Like, they want to know, like, and trust you. They need to trust you over the phone. And so we try not to honestly use scripts, and we teach them to think and to listen to the owners. And this goes for you as well too. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what the owners are saying and then respond after they're finished, saying something. Respond to what they're saying, instead of just like, oh, and what about this? And oh, what about this? It just doesn't work. Okay. And oh yeah, so Cole's saying you need to pay her more. She gets a bonus. They get $1,000 bonuses for every deal they close. So that's like, I think, pretty good deal. Dave, are all the Philippines, all those people in the Philippines? Yes, all the acquisitions people are all in the Philippines. And will you share your Excel list of compiling? All of my files and everything are all offered to my students in the Storage Nerds coaching program. So if you want any access to that, you can get access there. I do offer some stuff in the course, Super Simple Self-Storage. So if you want access to like my deal analyzer and the sheet and the facility sheet and due diligence stuff and all kinds of stuff, there's a whole bunch of different like templates that come with the course as well too. Okay, so you can always get the course if you want that. Do you continue to follow up with owners that may initially not want an offer letter? Yes, we do actually. We have a whole like a follow-up process. Once a quarter, we touch base with everybody, right? Is what we'll do. And we actually use Pipe Drive. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of it, but it's a sales and automation software, right? And that's what we use internally to keep all of our facilities. Because if you think about it, if we have 15 different virtual assistants, and they're each doing an offer a week. That's 15 different offers. And it's just like, you got a lot of different offers going on, right? Every single week. So basically what Pipedrive does is you create your own stages. You have a stage, like you can, and you just create whatever you want. So we have, for instance, like the seller offer stage, the deal analysis stage, the offer, like made an offer stage, and then like the under contract stage, and then the closing stage. So we have 5 different stages. And then you move each lead into each, once it goes, finishes one stage, it can move into the next stage. All right, so you can visually see all the different offers from all the different people. And then you can keep track of like what's needed from each one. And you can't move it from one stage to the other unless everything from that stage is complete, right? Because there's like these required sections and stuff. And if you don't have all the required fields filled out, then you can't move it to the next stage, right? So it's called Pipedrive. It's a great software. Anybody can use it. It's a little bit expensive, but it's not too bad for what it's worth. I say it's great. If you're like one of these people that has a lot of deals, you want to be able to handle all those deals, definitely have to check out Pipedrive, okay? And let's see. When talking to owners, how do they refer to you or the acquisitions manager? Yeah, so they just say, that's exactly what they say. It's like, Chris is the head acquisitions manager, and their boss, and then I'm like, the owner is what it is, right? And sometimes they're like, I want to talk to the owner, and actually a lot of times Chris will just call first and then introduce himself, and they, but the truth is they give a lot of information to the team. A lot of owners give information to the team. All right. So we don't really need to be too involved. What we're involved with is really just giving them a thumbs up that the offers are good, making sure everything that we need for the offer is inside the folder, and then quickly be able to go over that, and then just giving them a thumbs up to send the information out. Okay. That's kind of what we do. All right. So so that's basically the virtual assistant. That's the acquisition specialist side for virtual assistants. That's really only one of like many different virtual assistants. And I didn't really think it was going to take that long to talk about it, but I think this is a good session, and I can always talk about our virtual assistants that we have for the run it side, the management side as well too, because my husband Pete, he manages all of our facilities. He also manages the funds facilities, and we have about 1,000 doors. We have Bonnie, and then Steph, Patrick, and DJ, and Christy now. So there's 6 of them to run 1,000 doors, and we're growing. We're about to add a couple hundred more doors. We're adding I think 300 more doors. So there'll be 6 of them to really manage that. And those are all virtual assistants and things like that as well too. So on the next one, and actually I think my husband has talked about how we manage our facilities on several different podcasts and YouTube videos. So if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of like hiring or managing and hiring people on the management side, then I really recommend that you check out all those videos or podcasts there. Now, for all of my students, tomorrow we're going to have Jim Ross come in and talk, and he's going to be talking about management as well too. So make sure you show up to the mastermind tomorrow for all my students. And I think that's really it for today. I'm not going to get into any more information about virtual assistants today. And I think we'll do another section for virtual assistants, all the other virtual assistants that I have. Okay. All right, good. Any other final questions before I hop off and I go to the fund? So right now, if you're interested, I'm going to my pitch, which is stacyrossetti.com/fund. I have a 506c Reg D fund, which is a fund that you can invest in passively. You put the money in and I will do all the work for you. And I will be pitching that right now. I always pitch it right after this session. So if you're interested in that, hop on and listen. We have a great deal under contract, and I'm trying to raise money for this deal so that we can close it and we can all make some money. So I appreciate your time on this session, and I will see you next Monday. Okay. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Storage Nerds. Hope this informative conversation inspired you to go out there and jump into this highly profitable business venture that people rarely talk about. Get more tips on storage space investing at www.stacyrossetti.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave a rating. Together, let's build that thriving passive income one storage space at a time. Until next time.